What I'm really here to do today is essentially guide you through a set of principles that I think is really going to be useful. And one of the reasons for that is that for many of you that have followed my work or read any of my books or seen any of my videos online, you'll know that I'm passionate about wanting to help people. But my main focus that I'm known for over the last 3 to 4 years has been more centered around human behavior. But the vast majority of my career, it was centered around business. And I always said that I'm a business guy, I'm an entrepreneur first, and I'm kind of a speaker teacher second. And that was my identity in that order for many, many, many years. In fact, the teaching and speaking I did as a kind of a hobby, as a side gig while I was running my own businesses. And so the evolution that I've gone through over the last few years really has been, obviously I'm still an entrepreneur, but I see myself as an identity really more of a teacher first and the business second, because now I'm passionate about wanting to help other people, learn some of the insights and things that I can bring to the table, and from some of the mistakes or lessons or things I've had the good fortune to learn. So I use that as a pre-frame because there's a lot of talk right now, especially if those of you have still plugged into any kind of mainstream media, that a lot of people are actually talking about a shift in the upcoming economic global situation that isn't as rosy as some people would like. And there's a lot of talk about, the recession and all that kind of stuff, or, economic toughness. Now, when it comes to the global economy, getting led by it is one thing. Being able to lead your own economy is something completely different. And I've grown a lot of businesses in multiple downturns in multiple different industries, different ways. And I've learned a lot from that. And I want to share with you guys today things that I think will be very useful. And what I wanted to preface that with is that what I was best known for teaching up until around about 2016 was what we used to call the Millionaire Business School. Now, I said I'd give my last one in, I think it was 2019. And then a private promoter out of Cyprus asked if I would teach the same event last year for a private group of 30 people. And we cut some numbers, it made sense. And I went back and I really enjoyed being able to see the impact of what was undoubtedly for many years one of the most award-winning events of its kind, most impactful, long-lasting impact events of its kind. And because it went so well, he talked me and twisted my arm 1,000 degrees into being able to do it once more this year. And so in November in Cyprus, I'm heading back, and this time it's not a private group of 30 people. We have opened it up for a couple of hundred seats in the room and also on live stream. And so I'm excited about that. We've got a few tickets left for the room, and we've got the bandwidth for some more tickets on live stream. However, I also know that a lot of people have got busy lives, and even though people are desperate for traveling again after 2 years of being cooped up, there's a lot of other obligations that can crop up for people. You've got family, you've got work commitments, you've got different aspects of your own life or plans. And so I know there's a lot of people that aren't able to get to Cyprus. And as a result of that, I was asked, would I mind putting on kind of a mini best of the secrets that I can help teach at Cyprus for people that can't make it. And that's what brought me here today for you guys. And that's what brought you guys here. So I want to say thank you for showing up, because I really want to be able to take you through some of what I call the secrets of the Millionaire Business School. In fact, if I share my screen, let me make sure. Here, guys, let me have a look. Okay. Now, give me a yes or something positive in the chat if you can actually see right now what I'm seeing. Let's get the chat back up. Okay. Perfect. So you can see that. Secrets of the Millionaire Business School, 4-day live mega event. In fact, we've actually added another day to it where I'm actually bringing in some of my friends and teachers and some of the other people I've hand selected to teach the best skills around what it takes to be successful in mastering your own income in business, no matter what kind of business you've got. And I also get asked about, well, what if I don't have a business? Is it still going to be relevant? 1,000%. There's lots of different categories of people. You have those that really want to start a business, but they don't know how. You got people that know how to start a business, but they don't have the resources. You have people that know how to start a business and they have the resources, but they don't have the courage. So we get a lot of different people that are in I'd love to do it if I had either the resources, if I had the idea, the opportunity, or the courage. And we cater for all of that. We also have people that are in what I call the crazy startup phase. And I've done 7 startups. So I know how crazy that phase is. And when it comes to being able to manage a new business, it's like being a parent for the first time with a new baby. In fact, no, it's actually like being a parent for your first time with triplets, because there's so many things going on. There's so many moving parts. And if you don't have an understanding of what skills you need or a method on how to utilize it, a lot of startups don't make it, right? And then we have people that are actually in their stride. They're profitable, they've got their act together, but they just want to take it to the next level. They seem kind of stuck at a certain level. And what gets you from A to B doesn't get you from B to C. There's a life cycle of business, just like there's a life cycle of a human. Businesses in the teenage phase to get to the young adult phase need different strategies from mature adult into retirement. It's just different strategies. So I wanted to let you know if you were thinking, is this for me? Then if you've got any idea on ever wanting to captain your own ship, and I don't necessarily mean full-time business. It's going to be part-time, an idea, network marketing, any of that kind of stuff. You're going to learn something today. And if you attend at the event, either live stream or in person, then it's going to be mind-blowing for you. I can promise you. But that aside, let's get in some good stuff, because even if it's not a path that you want to take, I want to make sure I honor your time today. So when we leave in an hour or two, then because I want to stay until I answer all of your questions, then you're going to have had some really good insights, ahas. In fact, let's play bingo, guys. If you get a bingo moment today, why don't you put in the chat bingo and type what it was? What was your aha? Because sometimes when we share that, it deepens the neural connections, and it also allows other people to say, oh, hang on, I missed that. What was it? Oh yeah, wow, that's a bingo moment. So it gets you to contribute as well. So if you're ever playing bingo, type me a bingo in the chat. And I don't want to see the same 4 people typing every day. Come on, there's enough of us on here today to make this worthwhile. So give me some bingos, guys. Okay, let's see if we can go for a full house. And honestly, if you are trying to listen to this with one ear, one eye on your cell phone screen, stirring dinner with your foot, to stir the soup, while trying to feed the dog with your other hand, it's not going to benefit you. What I'm going to share with you here is some of the best that have cost me millions of dollars, literally, to learn. So, and what I haven't seen virtually any other business school teaching. So, okay. I get the idea. You get the idea. We're all in. Let's kick this thing off, shall we? Now, let's have a little look. There are, says he, there we are, 5 ways to get money. I'm sure maybe you can find a hole in the donut somewhere, but generally there's 5. And the first one is essentially what most people do is they earn money. What I mean by earn money, it means that they trade their time for wages. They go and actually work for somebody else. Nothing wrong with that. But if your outcome is to be financially independent, there's 2 challenges. One is you are always going to be paid less than what you are worth, even if the job's a high-paid job, just because of the nature of how jobs are. Why? Because if you're getting $1,000 a week, which is pretty good wages for some people, the job's got to be worth more than $1,000 a week. Otherwise, the business owner isn't seeing any benefit from you. You follow? So by the very definition of you being paid, you're having to leave a margin for the value to the business. Otherwise, there's no point. So you can earn it. And let's just say you earn $100 an hour. That's not bad wages, to be fair. That's $4,000 a week, which after tax at that rate, you're probably going to end up keeping somewhere around about half, which is $2,000 a week, which means that, what's a million? 20 grand a week. So you'd have to work for 10 years, basically, without spending any money before you even had $1 million in the bank. That doesn't sound like fun for $100 an hour. Right, so you get the idea. Again, nothing wrong with that, but if your outcome is to be financially independent, earning it ain't going to cut it. Now, you could inherit it. That's a great way, isn't it? Now, a couple of challenges with that. One is the prerequisite is that you've got to be in the lucky sperm game and have a decent relative who's not far off cashing in. So it's not really available for most people. It's not something we can plan for. But the other aspect is that, guys, you do not want unearned income. When I say unearned, I mean something you haven't managed to generate, something that's been given to you, whether that's a handout, whether that's another way that we're going to talk about shortly. In fact, what's not stealing it? Yeah, good luck with that. Or winning it another way. You don't want unearned income. Why? Because it'll prove a curse sooner or later. And we've all know people, maybe even our own experience in our own families that have been torn apart, brothers and sisters breaking lifelong blood level relationships because they wanted more from mom and dad that they thought they were entitled to than somebody else. And I've seen enough horror stories myself with regards to that. If you want to try to win it, great, good luck. Lottery odds right now in the UK, I believe, are somewhere about 14 million to 1. But if you look at history, there's one statistic that has remained exceptionally consistent, and that is that 5% of people in the world own the world. That retire in any kind of shape financially, let alone in emotionally, spiritually, or otherwise. But when it comes to finances, cross-culture, cross-history, cross-economic boundaries, doesn't matter. 5% of people in the world are essentially financially independent. 1% are financially free. Now, why is that? Well, we're going to find out. But if you take the 5% figure, that's 20 to 1. So let's just look at number 4 again. What were the odds? Come on, price for the first one to type it in the chat. What were the odds for winning the lottery in the UK? Everyone's trying to count the zeros right now, aren't they? Yeah. Oh, Susan, close. I must speak a little slower, actually, because you all heard 40 million, but no, 14 million to 1. So 14 million to 1 to win the lottery and 20 to 1 for answer number 5, which is to make it. When I say make it, I don't mean get a printing press. That kind of comes under number 3, right? I'm talking about knowing how to generate your own income. So there's got to be a better way. Business is the vehicle for being able to generate wealth for the vast majority of people. Unless you're already retired, already got a lump sum and you know how to invest or all that kind of stuff, business is the worldwide #1 way, easiest way, lowest barrier to entry way, least risk way, as I'm about to share with you, to essentially get money. So if that's the case, why do so many people find it so hard? You see, the stats will show you 85% of people will never reach $1 million in annual sales. $1 million in annual sales for business. That's 20 grand a week. And that's turnover, not profit. We're talking actual revenue. 95% will never reach 10 million because what gets you from 0 to 1 doesn't get you from 1 to 10. And only 1 in 25 companies these days even gets close to being surviving for a decade. Now, think about that. And I'll be honest, guys, it's with the strategies I'm going to show you today, it's actually quite simple for one person as an entrepreneur using the strategies that I'll be sharing with you, or some of them I'll share with you, to go out and create and generate $1 million business. Now, it may sound a little bit off radar for some of you, but trust me, most entrepreneurs today can do that on their own, working half days. Now, how many hours in a half day? Somebody's going to pick it up. And 12 says, Jill, absolutely. 12 hours is a half day. So yes, working half days is 12 hours for entrepreneurs. So why do people go out of business? I'll tell you, it's not the product or service. It's not a lack of money. It's not poor location, the economy, poor staff, interest rates. It's not the government. It's none of those things. I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's you. The business owner. Businesses go out of business because they're mismanaged, period. You can have one business sat next to another business on the same high street in the same industry. Let's take two restaurants. We've all seen this, selling the same kind of food to the same demographic at the same price point with pretty much the same quality of chef. And one of them has an X factor where people are queuing up, and one of them is crickets. Why is that? Well, you're going to get an insight into some of that today. So, having taught so many people how to increase their net worth through business, I want to share with you what we teach at the business school, at the Millionaire Business School, because the challenge for so many people is they try to do too much, and there's so much out there. You could go onto Amazon right now and put in business book and get a 30 lifetimes worth of reading, half of which the authors have never built a business, and half of which, right, is out of date. Now, there are some good gems out there, but essentially what I want to do is focus people on what I call the 10 master skills of high-level entrepreneurs. Because you can go in 1,000 different directions, get pulled, in all sorts, around all sorts of corners, spend time, effort, money, learning things that you think you need. When I'll tell you right now, I'm going to make it dead easy for you today, guys. There are 10 skills you need to learn to be able to crush your competition, to outmarket, outmaneuver, outwit, outsell any competition in any environment before they know what's hit them. And until you master these 10 skills, do not go for number 11. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care what's happening in your industry. These are the 10 skills of entrepreneurs. Again, I dropped out of school at 16. I've got no formal qualification, but my trade is business. And the vast majority of the nearly 30 businesses that I've started have all been in different industries. How come I've been successful in industries I've never been into before? How have I built multi-million dollar companies in industries where I have no technical knowledge or background of that industry? Because you don't need the technical knowledge of the industry, you need to understand business. And so these 10 skills I'm going to go over with you right now, and we're going to drill down on 4 of them today in the time we have, so I can pick some of the gold out and be able to share it with you. If you're interested, you still with me here, guys? Give me some love. Stop stirring the soup with your foot. Now, okay, we're all good. Attention here. So the first master skill is develop business self-mastery. Now, I run a program called Ultimate Self-Mastery, and obviously I weave in some of the business stuff because it's part of my background. But you remember what I said earlier? What is the number one reason businesses go out of business? It's the business owner. And it's not lack of skills, it's lack of self-mastery. That's the first thing. If you think that you've got what it takes, you're going to find out something called the presentation principle. And it's one of the primary rules of life. And this will be a bingo moment for some of you. And the presentation principle goes something like this. Everything that is inconsistent with the greatest version of yourself will present itself. Let me say that again. Everything inconsistent with the greatest version of yourself will present itself. If you're an athlete and you want to win a gold medal and you absolutely love pizza, that is going to present itself. If you want to earn some extra money and take a second job, but you can't be bothered because you much rather watch Netflix, that's going to present itself. If you want to be an entrepreneur and you love lying in till 11 o'clock in the morning, that's going to present itself. Right? So knowing how to master yourself, especially around business, is a key aspect. In fact, on the business school, we spend the entire first day on just this master skill, because we reinvent people who think or want to be entrepreneurs or wantrepreneurs, and we reinvent them into somebody who has absolute certainty they can go out and perform. That's a different game. I've had the privilege of employing hundreds and hundreds of people in my career. And certainly for the early part of my business career, I did most of the interviewing myself. And as a result, I would be faced with people who have a decent resume, a decent curriculum vitae, CV. And here's the thing. Have you noticed, anyone in HR here, that when it comes to hiring, Most business owners hire on resume, but they fire on personality. So yeah, I don't care about what somebody's resume is as such. Now, if there's a certain skill set, that's going to tell me something. But that's your echo. I want to hear your voice. When it comes to resume, if somebody shows up with all of the skills and none of the certainty or self-belief or ability to believe in their ability to get the job done, I will take somebody who has far less skills and experience but has more certainty. You follow me here, guys? You can teach skills. It's hard to teach certainty. So developing business self-mastery is a big part of the entire business school. You'll see where we tie that into the name of the Millionaire Business School at the end. Financial creativity. When I started my first business, I had nothing. And I went to the bank and I thought, yay, banks are there to lend you money. Anyone ever had that delusion? No. Banks are there to give you an umbrella when it's sunny, and they're there to take it away when it's raining, right? And there's a reason for that. Banks are businesses, and banks are going to lend money to people who have a history of demonstrating they know how to be a good custodian of money. So if you go to a bank penniless and you don't have any assets that you put money into that's worth anything, you're basically saying, hey, listen, I'm really crap with money. Can you give me some of yours? What do you think a bank's going to say? So I didn't have any money. I didn't have any experience. I didn't have any savings. And every bank that I went to gave me a nice little pat on the head and said, sorry, Sonny, not today. So I had to figure out how to get creative when it came to starting businesses with no money. I'm going to share that with you today. All right. And guys, this is live, as you can tell. And I've got a dog around here that is desperate to try and come out. Bella, come say hi to the people. Want to see my dog? Come on, get up. All right, there we are. This is Bella, who has just gate crashed our live webinar. Come here. Give me 3 seconds while I put her out. Talk amongst yourselves. There you go, kid. All right. Look at that, always looking for fuss. So, she is cute. Her brother's around somewhere. So, developing financial creativity is a skill very few people teach. Number 3, reinventing customer service. We are living in a world where you have things like TripAdvisor, you have Trustpilot, you have online forums. And if you think that you cannot treat your customers like gold, a lot of people are going to know about it. How do you be able to create raving fans so that your customers become your best sales force, that they want to show up and sing your praises just like they do for their favorite restaurant? Skill number 4, learning how to upgrade your environment. We're going to find out today why that is absolutely critical. Mastering strategic thinking. Out of all of the master skills, I can promise you this particular one, if I was to do an assessment of 1,000 business owners and ask them to tick which one of these they got down when they understood what they were, the one that would score the least is number 5, because so many people have no clue how to understand the difference between strategic objectives and tactical implementation. It's just, it blows me away how much we can actually move the needle when we understand this. Number 6, reinventing time management. Guys, let me tell you, anyone ever tried time management? Anyone ever think that they're struggling with not enough hours in the day? Anyone struggling? Anyone? No? Everyone, oh, you're all lying back on margaritas on the beach. No, everybody's stressed out of their freaking mind. Never enough time. There's too much to do, blah, 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 all of that stuff. Now, we're not going to cover this today. I do an entire section on this at the business school that is going to blow your mind. But let me give you a little bit of a teaser here, if I may. Time management is the biggest lie ever invented, because you can't manage time any more than you can manage the current of a river while you're swimming in it. I have never been able to walk into Tesco's or Walmart or Woolworths and see that they've got a sale on the time aisle where I can buy 2 hours for just 20 minutes. That doesn't work. If you commoditize time in your mind by trying to manage it, you're always going to be behind the 8 ball. The only thing you can really do is learn how to manage your focus. and ultimately manage your relationship to time. Right? Hopefully that's making sense. Now, number 7, reinventing sales and marketing. Sales and marketing are the lifeblood of the business. I used to have a beautiful soul. His name was Errol. He was my business mentor for many years. And out of all the years that I knew Errol, sometimes we would live together. Sometimes we did businesses together. I never knew him earn less than $1 million a day. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can read your mind. Yeah, you can't live on it, but it's a good start, right? I get it. $1 million a day, $350 million a year would have been a low year for Errol. And I sold his last company for $3.6 billion in cash. Now, when Errol would come to the business school, he's been to several of my business schools before. Unfortunately, he won't be at this one because he passed away last year, unfortunately. But when he used to come and teach with me at the business school as an invited guest, then he would have a favorite saying. I'm going to share it with you right now because it really underscores the importance of sales and marketing. He said, nothing happens in business until something is sold. Until then, you don't have a business, you have an expensive fantasy. And I see so many people that spend way more time, effort, and money on getting their business cards looking good or getting the office chair that looks good in their office or designing their website when they haven't got any money coming in yet. If nothing happens in business until something is sold. Until then, you don't have a business, you have an expensive fantasy. I owe that to my late great mentor. Number 8, the magic of educational-based marketing. Again, this is a game changer. We're going to get a practical example of what this is today. Number 9, building a dream team. Business is not a solo sport. And building a dream team is a huge part. If you don't know how to manage people, in my early days, I'll be completely, what time is it? I'm sure it's past 9 p.m. on every time zone I'm speaking to right now. So I can say a word that's slightly out of place. You don't mind, do you? I was an asshole. I was a complete a-hole to work for in my early days. Why? Because I didn't know how to manage people. And there's a reason for that. I was so wound up tying my self-worth with my net worth that if anything threatened the business, if I caught a staff doing something wrong, I would berate them. Why? Because it's going to affect the business. And if the business is affected and my net worth goes down, my self-worth goes down. It triggers the fear that I'm not enough and I'll do anything to avoid it. And that all happens at the speed of thought in the background and manifests outwardly as being a complete idiot. Right? So, just know this. If you treat your staff right, they'll do anything for you. But how do you select them? How do you bring them in to the business? What about business partners? Anyone ever had business partners that wish they were no longer business partners? You get the idea. So how do you figure all of that out in advance? We teach all of that as well. It's the really critical master skill if you want to build more than a one-man shop or a one-woman shop. Okay, Joan, I feel you. Number 10, effective implementation. You can have the best plan. You can have the best insights, the best idea, the best way. If you don't know how to implement what you learn or what you need to do, then I got news for you. It ain't happening. All right, it's execution on the plan is as if not more important than the plan. So there's the 10 master skills. If you're studying anything else about business, scrap it until you can feel confident that you know how to handle yourself around these 10 master skills. Then you're free to go out and do anything you want to learn on some fancy schmancy new whatever. But every successful entrepreneur worth millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, and billions that I've worked with, been many billionaires, understood that these 10 master skills are non-negotiable. Everything else is optional. So there's only so many games we get to play that are optional. In life, you can pick lots of optional games, but the non-negotiable ones are the ones that you need to focus on. Money is a non-negotiable game to master. Otherwise, if you don't know how to play the money game, it's going to play you. Health is a non-negotiable game to master. If you don't make time for health, you're going to make time for illness, period. Okay? Relationships, non-negotiable game. Why? Everything is a relationship. You get the idea. So in business, these are your non-negotiables, your 10. Made my point. And today, If we have time, I'm going to try to get you through some of the best on 4 of them specifically. These 4, number 1, 2, 4, and 8 are on there. So if you're still with me, you still got some energy here, guys, then yeah, let me know and we'll get started on here. And I want to make this interactive. I want you guys to be part of this. Don't just listen to this fast talking English guy. And if I am talking fast, by the way, usually because it's either I've got so much to say I want to be able to help you with and share, or I'm just excited. Either way, I'll either try to slow down, or if not, which rarely happens, feel free to listen as fast as you can. And hydrate. Right. Let's do this. Yes, my brain loves fast, says Susan. Money loves speed. There we are. I am always excited. Let's have a look. So let's dive in. Master skill number 1, business self-mastery. Your beliefs around you, money, and business govern absolutely everything. So here's what I want you to do. And I want you to be as honest, vulnerable, and authentic right now as you can. Now, you don't have to type it in the chat, but I'm going to invite you to. I want you, without too much thought, because this is more of a gut feel, I want you to type in right now, what is your number 1 limiting belief about yourself? That's all we got. A couple hundred people on here. Thank you, Nick. Says I'm not capable, money's hard to come by, I'm not good enough. Failure, fear of failure, can't do it, don't have the skills. Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. I need help. You got to be young, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Nothing to offer. It's complete limiting beliefs. Now I want you to type in, what is your number 1 limiting belief about money? Just go with what comes up. Don't have it, unreachable, hard to come by, doesn't grow on trees. Never seen a money tree, hard to earn. I'm meant to be poor, predictable, it's hard to get. Yeah, you see a theme coming through here, guys. Yeah, so yeah, it's negative to heaven. Yeah, a lot of that pushed down the pipe. Yeah, so all of these, again, will impact your ability to generate revenue in your business. And then finally, what is your number 1 limiting belief about business itself? It's hard. Look at that. It's easier for others to make it happen. Don't have enough experience. It's complicated. If I have a nice life, everyone will hate me because they're jealous. Hard. It fails a lot. Yeah, guys, I just want to compliment you guys for playing full out here. Thank you. All right, but can you see how, for a moment, how before we even get started, how much of an uphill push people are setting themselves up for, not based upon the economy, not based upon the opportunities, not based upon anything other than what's stacking against them mentally. That's why business self-mastery is so important. What would actually happen if you were to today get rid of those 3 limiting beliefs, just those 3? Forget the others if we start talking about relationships or body or the world or any of that kind of stuff. What would actually happen if you just got rid of those 3 beliefs? Not gone to freaking Harvard to get an MBA, not suddenly, got a massive line of credit at a great interest rate from the bank to start your idea. No, none of that. Just got rid of those 3 beliefs. Now you're going to start to dial in right now to get a real insight into why we spend a vastly disproportionate amount of time out of the 40 hours I'm going to be teaching in Cyprus, the entire first day out of the 3 days that I teach is all on this subject. And you'll see how it weaves through the entire 3 days. Okay, master skill number 2. You're going to love this one. And this is going to bust some of those beliefs about business and money, by the way. Financial creativity. How to get what you want without paying for it. Now, if you want a bit of a laugh, I used to have this titled for many years, How to Get What You Want Without Paying for It or Going to Jail. And then I went to jail. So most of you know my story from the inside track. As the only non-criminal, may I add, civil prisoner in Pentonville. And so, yeah, I took that bit off there just because, it is what it is. But let me share with you what I mean by financial creativity. And I actually even put a program together called How to Start a Business with No Money, just to show people how to really maximize their understanding of this. But I'm going to teach you today everything you need to know if you're up to speed and with me. And that's this. I mentioned earlier, I didn't have any money to start with. I had to figure it out. And I got a phone call one day. I use this example because it's so easy and people love it. It's called Matt the Flower Man. All right, I got a phone call one day from Matt. Matt was a flower man, as you probably just deduced. Here he is. Well, I'll be honest, that isn't Matt. That's a picture I found on Google. But imagine that was Matt the flower man. And Matt called me one day and he says, hey, Pete, I need your help. I need £20,000. And I'm like, well, what do you need £20,000 for? He says, oh, no, I've got this incredible opportunity. Now, Matt had the market stall in Leicester, my hometown, the indoor market. And it's called the Haymarket Centre. And he was very successful. Everybody knew him there. He'd been there for years. He said there was one other market trader in the center of town in the outdoor market who was also a flower seller. He'd been there 20 years. Everybody went, they either went to Matt or they went to this other guy. Now, the other guy was retiring. And he offered Matt to take over his stall, his position, for £20,000. Now, the bank wouldn't lend it to him because there's no security in a market stall. Markets were my first business. Pete's Toys in Leicester Market. Pete the Toy Boy, whole different story. And when it came to borrowing the money, he hadn't got the cash flow, didn't want to borrow it on his house. So he says, but if I had 20 grand and I was able to take both stalls, I would corner the market for flowers. I'd make so much more money. Now, Matt didn't need money. He needed something I'm going to teach you. He needed a better strategy. And you find the better strategy by asking a specific question. And the question is, how do I add value? Now, why do you do that? Because you realize that money is nothing more than a byproduct or a consequence of adding value. See, the last time you got money, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't because it fell out of the sky. It was because you did something or gave something for it first. 40 hours a week in a job, a product or a service, whatever it may be. But you gave something for it. And money was the medium of exchange with which the perceived value from the buyer measured the level of value and then handed it to you in what we call money. Now, quick question. If you're really good at negotiating and you're sitting in front of a cold fire at night, how would you rate your chances of being able to negotiate with the fire for it to give you some heat before you fetched it some fuel? Any good salespeople out there? Yeah, I think Damon's got pretty much on that. There you go. You can't. Nada. Not going to happen. All right? I don't care what special offer guarantees you throw in. What happens if you walk into a gym and your personal trainer's there and you look at the weights and you say, well, hang on a minute. Let me do your deal. I have got a killer deal for you today, Mr. Personal Trainer. Can you give me the strength and then I'll go lift the weights? No, that doesn't happen. What happens is you lift the weights, you get the strength. You chop the wood, you get the fire. You add the value, you get the money. So when it comes to understanding what money is and how to get it, I said to Matt, I said, who else would benefit from you getting this flower stall? He said, well, obviously the owner of the stall who's retiring, he would benefit. Sure, who else? So, well, the customers would still benefit. They'd be able to buy from that location. Yeah. Who else? Keep going. He said, well, the market store, that Leicester City Council who run the market, they would benefit. They'd be getting more rent. Sure. I said, who else? He says, oh, well, my supplier would benefit. He'd be able to, have more, I'd be able to sell more flowers. I says, exactly. I says, do you use one primary supplier or mainly? He says, well, I get 80% of my flowers from one supplier in Holland. I said, okay, here's what we do. We go to the flower sellers. What we did, we went to the flower seller and we say, look, I have the ability to double my wholesale output with you. Now, at that time, Matt was doing about 125 grand a year in wholesale business with a supplier. So, and I said, if you got both stalls, what would it be? He says, at least double. So it says, okay, I've got the ability to, instead of give you 125 grand a year wholesale business, I give you 250 grand. And I'm willing to sell you the exclusive right of supply for £5,000. Now, it's obviously worth a lot more to the flour wholesaler. And if the flour wholesaler says no, what do? You go to his competition. See, as a business owner, if somebody came in and said that I've got a history with and said, look, I'm going to give you a competition-proof contract that says I can't be pushed, pulled, or stealed away from any of your competitors, and I'm going to put approximately 250 grand to the business through, and I'm going to sell you that for $5,000, what would my response be? I'll tell you. How many can I buy, right? Because if I was to take that $5,000 and put it in an advert in Flour Sellers Monthly or whatever it may be, or invest it in a trade show, am I guaranteed $250,000 in business over the next 12 months? Of course I'm not. So I basically said to Matt, this is the strategy. And then what happens? We go to the flour seller who's retiring. And we say, look, we know you want 20 grand for this stall, but we don't want to give you 20 grand. We want to give you 25 grand, but we don't want to do it all in one go. We want to pay it over 12 months, which represents 25% interest, nothing you're going to get in any bank these days. Oh, and by the way, here's a £5,000 deposit. Everybody see what just happened? See, Matt didn't need more money. He needed a better strategy. And I could give you example after example after example of how I built businesses like that, as I will at the business school. In fact, I'll give you one other one just so you can get the idea. Right? There's haulage firm in the US, and they had a rat problem. These little guys, cute, fluffy little pets. And although the council didn't see it that way, but they were going to get $5,000 fine because of their rat problem. And so they got a quote from a professional firm, and it worked out at over $10,000 a year for them to actually clear the problem and keep it cleared. So they were kind of stuck. They didn't have that kind of disposable cash. So what did they do? Get your thinking caps on, guys. Well, I'll tell you what they did. They went to an old animal rescue center, and they got some old cats, those with claws. Susan sees where we're going. David sees where we're going, And they put the cats in the compound. The workers who were cat lovers made a nice place for them to sleep, like a little cattery. They put some water in there. They put a low-cost heat bulb in there so they'd be warm on the first night. And they fed them on the first night. And then they didn't. 2 weeks later, no rat problem. Now, what did it cost? Right? They got the cats for free. The cattery cost a little bit of wood, a heat lamp, some cat food, and some cat lover who worked for them to put it all together. About $100, because they didn't need money. They needed a better strategy. Now, may not be the most humane for you animal lovers out there. If you've got a pet rat, I apologize. But the point is, don't focus on that. Focus on the fact that if you have a limiting belief that you wrote down about business or money that says, I need money to start, I don't know how to get the capital, I don't have I can't afford fill in the blank. That limiting belief, I'm going to blast it out of the water by the time you finish the business school, right? Because it's simply a limiting belief. You don't need money. What do you need? Come on, first one to type it in. See who's on the ball here. You need a better strategy. There you go. I'll give that one to Claire, even though we had strategy coming up. A better strategy. There we are. Well done, guys. All right, is this making sense? Now, let's moving forward. Master skill number 4. I want to choose this one specifically, upgrading my environment. Now, we know that you become who you hang with. But I've got to tell you, there is, in 30 years of working with 50,000 people, from homeless, people in slums in Soweto or Googleto in Cape Town, through to celebrities, through to private clients that pay me 6 figures a year, right through to entrepreneurs, everybody. This is something that holds true no matter what. If you understand that the law of conformity is always working. I mentioned that statistic earlier, the 5% law, that 5% of people in the world own the world. Why? Because they understand the law of conformity. 95% of the people that the 5% hang around with are other people in the 5%. The other 95%, 95% of the people they hang around with are in the 95%. Does this make sense? In other words, if you hang out with 9 recreational drug users, you're going to become the 10th. If you hang around with 9 people that are positive, upbeat, motivated, looking at life through the lens of how we can, not why we can't, that don't listen to the BS on the mainstream media, that create their own rules, their own life, that are driven by possibility, not excuses, you're going to become the 10th. It's the law of conformity. Now, if you see the picture here, I've got a question for you. This is in Durban, a place I've spent a fair bit of time in South Africa. Do you think that the people who live in the slums on the left have a high probability future of success or more poverty? Which one? Now, there's never any all, but as probability goes, which one? Poverty. What about the people who live in the houses on the right with the swimming pools? What do you think they have? Success, higher chance of success. Now, let me ask you a question. Is it because the people on the left have a low IQ and the people on the right have a high IQ? No, of course not. It's down to what I'm talking about, upgrading your environment. Now, let me demonstrate it this way. It's just not about, being the right person, the right, the right age. You've got some smart entrepreneurial people on the left side of that screen, but their environment conspires against them. Now, here's my next question. If somebody on the right-hand side of the screen went across the road and decided to mentor one of the people in the left side, what are the chances that that person being mentored would now start to have more success than poverty? Absolutely. Much higher, says Romain. Right? Much higher than if they hadn't been. So environment is not something that you can actually discount by any stretch of the imagination. Some of you are surrounded by people you went to school with that are still sitting on the same seat in the same bar on a Friday, talking about the same crap and having just as little money on Monday. Some of you, unfortunately, are in close proximity, either co-workers or relatives or in-laws or whatever it may be, who are always telling you why it can't work. Stop coming up with airhead ideas and castles in the sky and, keep your feet on the ground and you should be lucky for what you've got. And, don't you know those rich people are bastards and all of this kind of crap. And we get conditioned by it. But I asked you to be vulnerable with me earlier and share with me 3 limiting beliefs. And the reason I did that, apart from trying to get rid of some of them just by showing you that you don't need money, you need a better strategy, I want to share a fundamental truth with you. The fastest way to make lasting changes in my life is to surround myself with people who are either at or going towards the same destination I want, period. Conversely, ladies and gentlemen, the fastest way to stay at your current level is to stay around people who are at your current level. People ask me, I've got these limiting beliefs around money because my parents are always fighting over it. And honestly, if you were 7 years old and you saw your parents fighting over money, I don't care. At 7 years old, you're still craving love, connection, safety, security. You can't go out and fend for yourself. You got to rely on mom and dad. And if they're arguing over money, you will have an unconscious aversion to it, regardless of what the front part of your brain says, regardless of what your goal map or your mind movie says or any of that. You will self-sabotage and unconsciously push money away because you will automatically, unconsciously link it to lack of safety or high stress or emotion, and you'll start coming up with stuff to push it away. So what is the fastest way, ladies and gentlemen, of being able to get rid of limiting financial beliefs? I'll tell you in a freaking heartbeat. It isn't trying to go to a therapist. It's hang around with people that don't have them. Hello? See, one of the most ambitious businesses I started, and I put in millions and millions of dollars out of my own pocket into this, and millions of dollars from friends, family, and fools, and all the usual investor rounds. And it was to commercialize a space-based solar power. And it was a big, big ask. The challenge is it wasn't commercially successful because it was too far ahead of its time. Now, it's funny because I got a message last week from one of the gentlemen that was a supplier for the then cutting-edge thin-film photovoltaic, which was, without getting into it, was one of the keys to making the commercial aspect of space-based solar viable. But the project itself for a working 1 gigawatt space solar power station was about $10 billion, which is at that point on a par with a nuclear power station. Now, that is a pretty big number. Most people can't get their head around a $10 billion project. I'd never built one before. I was way out of my league. The non-commercial demonstrator was 300 million. But I saw the potential for this technology and what it could do for the planet. And I threw all of my shekels in the ring. I put in millions of dollars out of my own pocket. I remortgaged my penthouse in Canada, which I subsequently lost as a result. And I tell you this because when I started, it was so fantastic in the literal sense. It was so out there. But very soon we were having meetings with project finance companies like Bechtel, and Boeing we were partnering with. We're partnering and sitting down with Northrop Grumman, some of the big aerospace firms. I held and invested and created symposiums around the world. With government of China back in 2007. And I did a lot of stuff. We were meeting and negotiating with some of the biggest people in the world. I was in the Pentagon twice. And this was getting traction. It was getting real. We'd built an amazing team of people, best of the best. But we were also constantly speaking to project finance companies, merchant banks, private equity firms, VCs. And the more I hung around them, the more that 300 million was kind of like past the salt. They live in a world called MBT, millions, billions, and trillions. And before long, after about 3 months, from me being starry-eyed about, wow, 100, 200, 300 million dollars, $1 billion, $10 billion for a satellite, we'd be having regular conversations about, we need, there's 220 M for that. There's this project's going in at 450 M. That's 2.5 B. And occasionally you'd hear the T word. In other words, my environment was upgraded and my entire comfort space around money expanded to meet it. Does this make sense, guys? See, if you start to hang around with people who think 6-figure goals are high, you're going to think, oh, maybe I can't hit them. But if you're in Cyprus in a room full of hundreds of people where setting 6-figure goals is just what you do for breakfast, what do you think that's going to do for those limiting beliefs that you put up earlier? Starting to see. Okay. Next. This is part of the same one. Success rule number 1. It's not what you learn, it's who you learn it from. And Damon, I happen to agree with that. You see, there's a big difference between advice and opinion. I'm happy to be able to stand up in front of you today. Why? Because I'm not sharing anything I've not done. I'm not sharing anything that I haven't been able to demonstrate. I don't talk theory. I'm not interested. Why? Theory doesn't cover the price of admission to the higher levels of greatness. So it's a fact, unfortunately, out there that 90% of coaches, consultants, and all of that kind of stuff have never produced the results that you want for themselves, but they're happy to take your money to tell you how to do it. I mean, you wouldn't take relationship advice for somebody who's on their 4th divorce and on Prozac. You wouldn't hire a personal trainer that struggled to get out of their car because they were overweight. No. Right? You want somebody that's actually been there and done it. So please understand, when it comes to environment, choose a mentor that works for you. Choose people to be around that know what they're doing, not somebody that can sell you on a deal that makes you think they know what they're doing. Okay. Let me get into this one. Number 5, love this, the magic of education-based marketing. This is a game changer. And I need you to play along with me right now. I need you to get a pen and a paper. I need you to follow me through on this because I'm going to ask you to draw something. Yes, says he who failed art miserably. But I'm going to ask you to draw something. So I want you to follow through and make this real for yourself. It's going to be mind-blowing if you get this, the concept. Have a drink from my Flasker. Shameless plug for Flasker there. While you guys get a pen and paper. Are we ready? Catherine's ready. Excellent. So here's the biggest problem most businesses have. Do you remember I talked about sales and marketing? And nothing happens in business until something is sold. Well, this is a fact, a big mistake that a lot of people make. Biggest mistake most companies make is that they try and sell their product rather than educate their customers. There's a famous story out of Harvard where on day 1 of the business class, MBA, executive MBAs students, and he says, right, we're going to model a business today, and it's going to be a burger joint. And I'm going to ask you to give me what is the if you could control just one aspect that would make this successful, what is the most successful part or the most important part that would lead to success of the business? And some said the location, some said the recipe, some said it was the level of customer service, all of that. Some said it was the price point. You know what the professor said? No, the most important ingredient for a successful business, a starving crowd. See, most people unfortunately fall in love with their own baby, and what they do is they try to sell the features and benefits of their baby. But that doesn't work. And anyone doing that is actually going to waste 97% of their entire marketing budget. And I don't pick that figure out of the air. Get your pen and papers ready, guys. This is what I want you to draw. I want to run the numbers. This is an average audience for any product or service. Draw a nice little triangle for me, if you don't mind. Okay? And so, and Joan, I'll let you run the example on here and see how up to date this is. Right? Because this is, it doesn't matter what business, what industry, what profile. If we were to put all of your potential customers, so for example, if it was burgers, there'd be, I guess, everyone with a mouth that wasn't vegetarian. But let's say you're selling cars. All of your, oh yeah, sorry, got you, John. Let's say that you're selling cars, then everybody in this triangle would be everyone with a driving license. You with me? Yeah, if you were selling mountain bikes, it would be everybody that's into mountain bikes. Get the idea? Now, draw a line for me across the top on there at 1 to 3%. And what you'll find is that in any audience, 1 to 3% of people are what I call buying now. In other words, if we've got 100 people that are car owners, and I put them all in a room, and I ask, how many of you are currently in the market for a new car today? About 1 to 3% would raise their hand. Around 4 to 7% would be open to it if the right deal just happened to present itself. However, 30% aren't thinking about it, 30% think they're not interested, and 30% know they're definitely not interested. Which means that if I'm putting an advert for my product into a particular medium, even if I'm targeting absolutely ideally so that every person that sees my ad is a potential customer, how many people just skipped over my ad? Fingers on the buzzers. Answers on a postcard. 97, says Joan. Absolutely. Yeah. At least, 90 to 97%. Yeah. So, and here's the kicker, guys. Out of the 1 to 3% that are buying now, does that guarantee that those 1 to 3% are going to buy your product? Of course not. All of your competition are advertising at the same level in that tiny little space at the top, fighting for the same 1 to 3% of customers that are buying now in the market, right? Which, to underscore Joan's point, means that the vast people in your majority are not interested. So if you use the features and benefit model, nobody cares. At least 97% of the people don't care. The features and benefit may be useful when you're comparing products to the 1 to 3% that are already ready to buy. But if you're going out into the market, that's a lot of wasted money. Educational-based marketing is a system, a methodology that allows you to drive people up the pyramid. Now, how many people would like an example of how to do that? Oh, 2 of you, fine. Okay, there's more. But so let me give you an example. One of the businesses that I built, I started in 1997. It was called the Worldwide Health Corporation, not to be confused with the World Health Organization. But the business was essentially centered around nutraceuticals. And the business was predominantly in kind of, I'll say nutraceuticals. It was vitamins, it was minerals, anti-aging, that kind of stuff. Now, if I was to target, let's say we do a mail shot. Now, back in 97, it was still direct mail, but the same principle works for email copy or landing pages, etc. today. If I was to send out a marketing piece that said, and I'm selling, let's say, a supplement that helps increase the immune system, and I send out a marketing piece that says how about this incredible new super supplement that helps the immune system, and how it's bioavailable and it's double strength to what the other stuff is, and it has no bad excipients and all this kind of stuff. How many people opening that, even if they're the kind of people that take supplements, just skipped over it, deleted it, threw it away, screwed it up? About 97%. 1 to 3% are buying now. And those 1 to 3%, unfortunately, aren't guaranteed to buy yours. However, next question, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too off track in the chat. What if instead you got a marketing piece that said, free special report on the 3 biggest dangers affecting health in the household, and especially children, on what you can do about it? How many people just threw that away? I'll tell you, less. You follow? Exactly. And what happens is, less than 97. I think we can agree on that. So, because now you've got some of those people in that 30 range that are, hang on a minute, I'll take a look at that. And so you have this special report, and it's all done with market data, not product data, accurate market data. And there's a lot of market data that's easily accessible right now due to this newfangled thing called the World Wide Interweb. And I know I'm showing my age, but you will have so many people these days that want a PhD that they've got to go research something new, right? If you want to find out what effects a hamster has on eating pistachio flavored ice cream, you could probably find it. Someone's needed to figure it out for a PhD somewhere. But anyway, back to the special report. So you actually put out the fact that on the special report, one of the first biggest issue in health in the house is air quality. And the challenge is the fact that the cost of electricity and heating is now so high, topical, anyone, that more and more people are seeing the wisdom in shutting the doors, putting in cavity wall insulating, installing double glazing, because it's paying for itself, rather than giving it to the people who want to charge you more for your gas. But the challenge is that once you seal the airflows in the house, or you insulate the house, the air is harder to recycle, and therefore the air quality is far worse than what it used to be, which is correlated identically to increases in asthma, increases in allergies, and especially amongst kids. This is all factual information. The second challenge, health challenge in the home, talks about the additives which are put into commercial food processing that are not on the label. And the fact that even organic salads are washed in highly bleached, chlorinated water, to get rid of the bugs in the soil. How the biggest experiment in food is essentially all of the stuff that's being put in to preserve it so that it has shelf life. All of this stuff that's never even put on the label. And that's affecting people. And talk about the third major trend in the house affecting health. And that is the light spectrum. The artificial lights that we use that are compounding what we call seasonal affective disorder, that either rob people of the natural frequency of sunlight, or they stimulate too much blue light at night and the body can't actually get its circadian rhythm in sync because it still thinks it's daylight when you're looking at your phone at midnight. Now, question for you guys. Have I mentioned my product yet? It's not a high IQ question. No, good. Have I sold them on my new super fangled, whatever it may be? No, I haven't. None. But do I have people's attention? Probably more than 3%. I then go on to share what you can do about it. And the fact that unless you live on the top of a mountain in clean air, grow your own organic food, in modern 21st century society, there just ain't a lot you can do. It's a byproduct of where we are. And the only thing, or the only thing, but the best thing, the most convenient thing for the vast majority of people is to be able to increase their immune system in order to deal with these new onslaughts. Can everyone start to get an inkling? Any detectives out there amongst you can see where I'm going with this? Right? Now, I still haven't mentioned my product, because the next thing I'm going to do is what I call setting the buying criteria. Because then what I do is I say, now, the easiest way to increase the immune system, unfortunately, isn't through the food. We've already thrown that one out. And it's hard, even if you get good quality, clean food, to get food that has enough nutrients in with the over-farming of soil to get what it is that you need. So the fastest, most efficient way is through supplementation. And the challenge is in the supplement market, there's so much BS and crap out there that most people get confused with flashy marketing, false promises, and insinuations that things may be safe and effective. Don't get me started. So if you instead say, if you want to go to the market, this is what you want to be looking for in your solution to go and find supplements that will do the job. And what you're doing is you're setting the buying criteria. And of course, you're setting the criteria that your product meets. Making sense? It has to be bioavailable, and it has to have no titanium dioxide or magnesium stearate, and it has to be sourced ethically, and it has to have a efficacy of X, Y, Z, and blah blah, be in the right ratios to synergize, and bioflavonoids and all this kind of stuff. That's all accurate market data. Question: have I mentioned my product yet? No, still no. Oh my God, when's he ever going to get it? But you can see the setup here. I'm educating people up the pyramid. Everybody follow? So, and if you want to go out and you want to go do this on your own or go find it, these are the questions you want to ask. This is the criteria you want to get. Or we just so happen to have a product that matches all of that. And here it is, and here's the special offer if you want to take it. You get the idea. All right, so Paola, we're talking about the supplements to increase the immune system. Now, the reason that it's so effective is because people will always want to pay for faster results. It's just the nature of how we work. It's how we're wired. Some of you are going to take information out of this seminar today, out of this, and I'm trying to give you the best I can in the time I've got, guys. You can see I'm not holding back, right? And some of you are going to say, wow, you're going to be able to go out and make changes with what you've learned today. Some of you are going to say, well, hang on a minute. I'm getting my ass to Cyprus because I'd rather be able to learn how to do it faster and actually set up my environment to win with hundreds of other business owners setting the same kind of goals and go deep dive on this. That's cool. I'm not invested either way. I'm here to be able to add value to you today, no matter what. But It's the same aspect of what I've just been taking you through, because some people in your business will always want to pay to get the result as a done for you rather than as a do it yourself. And so they should. And if you're offering a very good product or service, they're probably making the right decision and they're going to be super happy with the fact that they did. Okay. So is this making sense? That covers a bit of an insight. I want to be mindful of time. I also want to get to some questions, guys, on here, but I want to show you what the promise is around these 10 master skills that we're going to make to you guys in Cyprus. Because I also got, as you'd expect, an excellent deal for you should you want to be able to do it. And I've got a gift for you at the end for those that are serious about wanting to do it on my dime, which I'll go through. So these are the 10 master skills. Just going to be give you a quick reminder, and I'm going to go through them each one, and I'm going to share with you, rather than teach you about it, I want to share with you what is the promise that coming out of this event you will be able to have as a result, or as it relates to the 10 master skills. Now, the first one, business mastery. You're going to reinvent your entire identity. We're going to do that on day one. It's going to be so powerful. Your beliefs around who you are, what you believe you're capable of as an entrepreneur, because that is a game changer. We established that right up front today. The fact, if you could get rid of those 3 limiting beliefs, the one about yourself, the one about your relationship to money, and the one about your relationship to business, that on its own would be a game changer. I can promise you there's a reason we do this on day one. Because then we can get into the business of being able to do business and teach you how to become an entrepreneur and what the actual mechanics are on the 10 master skills or the other 9 master skills. And you're not fighting yourself, against your own limitations. Number 2, financial creativity. Again, we talked about Matt the Flower Man and the cats and rats deal, but we're going to do 7 powerful examples when we get there. And then I'm going to get you guys to workshop together different scenarios until you can be able to come up with creative solutions that means that you won't need money. This one fact alone, this one part of the workshop is going to more than pay for your ticket, flights, and hotel. I can promise you that. Because some of you are going to get ideas that you're going to go back with. Some of you are going to renegotiate your rent. Some of you are going to be able to renegotiate school fees, using this principle. I've seen every example. Some of you are going to use what you learned today to be able to get the money to be able to come to the business school. I've had people do that. I've had people, and Ollie knows this. A good friend of mine who's on today. I've had people that have learned this strategy, the fact that you don't need money, you need to get creative, you need a better strategy. And they've contacted their boss and they've said, hey, I've got an opportunity to go to a business school where I can learn X, Y, Z, and I'll show you what the promise is in a moment about how to add $1 million to your bottom line. And I'm looking for people to sponsor me into the room, and I will come back and be able to teach them. And they went and got 4 people, split the cost 25%. Actually, they got 5 people and got paid for going. And what they did, they went through all of their notes. They put a little plan together on each of them on how the other businesses could work. And they got the other businesses to fund them out there. You get the idea. Okay? I'm working with a private client right now. My private clients pay me $100,000 a year for 1 phone call a week. Okay, I don't say that to impress you. I say that to show you what's possible when you get rid of your limiting beliefs about what you're worth. Because for me, in all fairness, that's getting cheap. So, and my clients get massive value from that. And I just signed up a new client. I've got no other room. I've got a waiting list of people right now to be able to come in. But my point is this. With one of my clients, we've been able to negotiate a new offer worth millions of dollars, and built into the offer, he's put in my coaching fee for the next year. He's already been with me over 12 months. So you start to get to understand that he starts to realize he doesn't need to sign 6 figures out of his own pocket. He sells the benefit of the executive coaching to the new business he's going to, and they say, well, I can see the benefit of that, and it's a small part of the salary. Bang, you get the idea. Doesn't need money. He needs a better strategy. Okay, next. Number 3, reinventing customer service. I'm going to show you how to turn your customers into your best and most cost-effective sales force, because we're working on some amazing things ourselves for this right now, as you'll be hearing from shortly. But that, rather than go give all your money to media's, Facebook, or your local radio or whatever it may be, What if you generated more revenue from your own customers that you didn't have to pay? Upgrade your environment. I'm going to show you how to radically upgrade your peer group and find a great mentor and the kind of things that you need to look for when you go home to be able to select one. I mentioned this was probably the one skill that most people do not understand. I don't want to get into it now, but mastering strategic thinking when it comes to business is so simple. People complicate it. But I will turn you into a grand master of strategy. And this is actually the shortest master skill I teach. It's only 45 minutes, but that's because it requires a mind shift. And once you make that mind shift, boom, it's a game changer. And I'll give you enough examples so that everybody gets it. Reinventing time management, we already talked about that. I'm going to share with you the Billionaire system on how to plan your day, avoid overwhelm, and become a productivity machine, as well as shifting your entire relationship 2 times so you don't get stressed. Anybody like the idea of that? Reinventing sales and marketing. I'm essentially, you're going to learn the 3 fastest ways to grow a business, how to find dream clients and crush the competition. Case closed. Magic of educational-based marketing. Now, what we're going to do, as I've just showed, we're going to show you how to save 90% of your marketing spend, and I'm going to show you how to develop your own pitch around this. And we're going to workshop it in the room in Cyprus so that you're going to leave with your own core story on how to drive your customers up the pyramid. Now, let's just say that instead of wasting 97% of your money, you only wasted 90%. In other words, you made 3x more sales just on this one skill. Would that be worth attending? You get the idea. And by the way, it's going to be a lot more than that. Building a dream team. I'm going to show you how to choose business partners, how to hire star salespeople for free, how to grow your business with an MBA level talent that you don't have to pay MBA rates for. It's an amazing strategy that I learned from James Caan, one of the Dragon's Den guys in the UK. Everyone familiar with Dragon's Den? In America, they call it Shark Tank. Anyone familiar with Shark Tank? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so the original Shark Tank was called Dragon's Den. I'll share a quick story with you. In 2000 and blah, yeah, I think that was the exact year, 2000 blah. Might have been 2007, whatever it was. Oh, no, it wasn't, because I was going to Canada, wasn't it? So it must have been 2003. My goodness, I'm getting old. 2003, 19 years ago. I was interviewed by a production team for a idea called Dragon's Den. And they were excited because they'd actually sold the concept to BBC Two, which back then was pretty much the TV channel that was kind of the Johnny come lately. It wasn't prime time. And I went through the interviews. I loved the concept, and they wanted me to be a dragon on the first series of Dragon's Den. Now, the only challenge was at that time I was going off to Canada to semi-retire. The story. I was off to just live a different life, and so I couldn't make the filming schedule. Instead, I recommended 2 colleagues that I met and spent some time with on stage, and we'd been around the world talking at different groups. One was Duncan Bannatyne, and one was Simon Woodroffe, who became stars and megastars of the first series. And the first series took off. It was such a hit. It got syndicated straight to BBC One. It then went around the world. And funnily enough, in Canada, CTV, Canadian Television, bought the rights to Dragon's Den when I was living there about 2 years later, because it was so popular. And they called the head of the entrepreneurs organization in Canada, in Vancouver, where I was living, and said, "Oh, we're looking for people to do a pilot shoot of this Dragon's Den thing." And he says, "Oh, there's this crazy English guy that's been here for a while." And so I actually got to shoot the first pilot series of Dragon's Den in Canada, would you believe? And yes, it would have been 2005 there, Jessica, because that's the year that I moved to Canada. So it was quite interesting. But I mention that because on subsequent series, one of the biggest stars was a guy called James Caan. And I got to meet James in Dubai. We had lunch together, and he shared this strategy with me, which I'm going to be teaching you on how essentially he built his entire empire pretty much for free. Okay, let me have a little look. So master skill number 10, follow a proven plan for implementation. Now, I'm going to share with you here what I call the $1 million promise. And the Millionaire Business School got its name not because some fancy marketing stuff. It got its name for a different reason. I'll share it with you. And that is that we make $1 million promise at the event that when you leave the event, you will leave with an individual, and this is on live stream as well. You will leave with an individual plan that will show you how to generate a minimum of $1 million in extra revenue for your business or business idea over the next 12 months. And that plan will be so specific and detailed that you'll know exactly what to do at 9 o'clock Monday morning when you get home, all the way through for those 12 months. Now, again, you can have the best laid plans, but if you don't know how to execute them, it becomes a pipe dream. So this is a huge promise. I can't see anybody else doing this. Now, let me share with you here. Yeah, you go. Everyone will live with a personalized plan, generate minimum 1 million in the next 12 months. That's what I'm offering. And I'm so certain of that because I've done this around the world so many times. I know what I'm doing, and I've changed more lives this way than pretty much anything else I've done when it comes to teaching business. So, and sounds better than any business plan Joan has. I'll tell you what business plans are normally. Right? Business plans are at best a guess and at worst they're fraud. Right? They have very little connection to reality or in the trenches. And the reason is that they always overestimate income, they underestimate costs. And most business plans serve one purpose. And that is if you're looking to partner or borrow money, then it shows the people that are looking to invest in you or join you that you've got some level of idea that you know what you're doing. But if you speak to any decent business owner, they'll tell you that the average time it takes for something to show up that wasn't on the business plan, 48 seconds, you get the idea. So this is not a business plan you're going to be leaving with. This is a revenue generating plan and exactly how to implement it in your business pertinent to you, not my business, your business. Okay. Guess what else you get? Oh my goodness. 90 days of weekly follow-up support. Why? Because everybody's excited at the event. It's going to be life-changing for you, I can promise, even on the live stream, because we're doing this in-person and live stream hybrid experience, which is going to be amazing for those that can't fly in. Now, if you can fly in, do so, because I want to see you. It'd be great to have a hug. Right? But the energy in the room is going to be amazing. But if you can't live stream for the price that we're giving it away at, is an absolute no-brainer. But I also include 90 days of weekly follow-up support where we're going to get holding your hand through key parts of the implementation. I'm going to remind you week by week of what you need to focus on. I'm going to share key insights, resources, and support to turn your plan and vision into a concrete reality, drip fed over those 90 days in a way where it's not overwhelming, where you're getting the right reminder, the right tool, the right focus, the right advice at the right time. Make sense? But wait, there is more. And there's even more. Oh my God. And whether you're in the room or whether you're on live stream, we're going to be able to give you the recordings for life. I've told you I've got an amazing experience here, and there's a reason for this. And there's a reason why you want to sign up for this, guys, even if you can't get to the event. All right? This is an investment I want you to make that's going to pay back a lot more, not just for all of the incredible stuff you get, but here. I'm investing thousands and thousands of dollars in having a team. I've worked with them before. They're incredible. 6 cameras in the room, on-site live editing, and you're going to have an amazing immersive experience on live stream. However, once we've done that, you're all going to get the recordings for life, and they're all going to be headed down so that you can get, if you need to go to Dream Team, for example, because you're looking to hire somebody, then boom, you go there. If you want to understand how to go out and get higher level clients than you currently get, boom, sales and marketing, there's a section on that. So, you don't have to go through 40 hours of content. Everything will be broken down. But when we relaunch this as a product, it's probably going to be going for about the same price as a live in-person ticket. And if you can't make the live in-person, right, then you can get this for just 299 euros. All right. Oh, hang on. Where are we? Let's go. Wrong way. Press the wrong button. There we go. So 299 euros. It's non-refundable, obviously, but that is the live stream. We're giving it away because I want to try to help as many people get through this, master this economic situation coming up as possible and stand strong and tall in it. Now, if you want to have some of that, let me share how to do it. You'll see a tab on here called the Resources tab, and if you click there, there'll be a link to go in. We'll also paste it in the chat as well. Now, if you want to come in person, it's $1,500. Or euros, sorry, euros, dollars are about the same right now. It's 1,500 euros. Now, some of you may want to come, but before you make that level of investment, you may want to get some questions answered. So I've hired some people, right, basically strong on them, to be fair, to have a chat with you about whether this is right for you. Now, if you want to book a call with those, you can do. And you can secure with $500 deposit a ticket. Now, that is fully refundable. In other words, let's say, right, I don't know how many tickets there are left, guys. There's not that many. Obviously, it's in, you see the dates. It's in, obviously, in Cyprus in about 4 or 5 weeks' time. Yeah, flights are super cheap, by the way, into Paphos, which is where you'd be flying. The resort is that 5-star beautiful resort. We've got a really killer rate for super cheap hotel rooms as well, which is amazing. But you may not, you may want to get some questions answered or talk it over with your spouse or talk it over with your business partner and bring them as well. And so I will be able to have you secure the ticket for a $500 deposit, euros, speak with one of my guys, and then if it's not right for you, we'll refund the 500. Can't say fairer than that. But I want you to get your questions answered. And these people, by the way, are people I've hand selected for a specific reason. They have done the business school themselves. They have generated huge revenue. They have applied what it is that you're going to learn. They're not people, as I said earlier, that have never produced the result that you're looking to produce. These are people that can tell you exactly what the event holds, how to implement, what happens afterwards, and how it will impact or relate to your particular business. They'll also be able to ask you about what limiting beliefs you've got, share what limiting beliefs they had and what happened to those. So you're getting some real, raw, honest, authentic feedback, not some salesperson on a phone that's trying to sell you a ticket. You don't deserve that. What you do deserve is to have an authentic conversation with someone who's been where you want to go and has actually done this particular event. So if you go and click on the link, you'll be able to go and see, again, live stream and in-person ticket, and you'll be able to book a call and get on their calendar. Please do it quickly because they don't have a huge amount of time on their calendar because there's only 2 people that I've set up for you guys. Right now, they're committed to working through the night if they want to speak to you, right? If you want to speak to them, but they're human as well. And if you check and there's no available space in the calendar, then please, 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 realize that it's probably gone. Or you can just grab your ticket there. Anyway, so that really is an overview of what's going to be happening in Cyprus. I hope today was useful. I want to go into Q&A right now as well, but let me just give you a summary of the quick benefits again so you can see. Right? It's a 4-day event. 3 days, I'm teaching 40 hours on stage. It is an immersive experience. It is phenomenal. It's not one of these show up at 9, have a tea break at 10:30, then we get back in the room at 11, we go through till 12:30, we have a 2-hour lunch. Right? This is going to be an amazing immersive experience, and it's going to go like this. It's going to be like, whoa. It's like, where did that go? And you're going to walk away with a 104-page workbook full of all of your notes and plans, in a way that guides you through it step by step. You can learn the 10 master skills and everything you need to know to master them. I say immersive experience, stunning location. We've got discounted rates for you guys. And it's warm in Cyprus that time of year. What happened there? Let me just go back. There you go. You got the $1 million promise. You got the recordings that you get to keep for life. You got 3 months of weekly follow-up support, and you can secure your ticket today. If you leave it much longer, guys, I can't guarantee there'll be any left in the room, but put a $500 deposit down, have a chat with one of my guys. If it's right for you, you've got your place. If it's not right for you, then we'll give you your $500 back. or you convert it to live stream and we'll pay you back the difference. Whatever's easy for you. Does that make sense? So on that note, please book your call today. Have a chat with one of these guys. They're awesome. You'll love their ability to try to add value to you, as I've done today. And you can ask them pretty much anything. So on that note, let's get back to, where are we? Let's go back this way. Q&A. In fact, let's get all this off screen. Let me get me back on screen for you guys. Where I blush. All right, can you see me? Am I back? Oh, I'm all blurry. Is it you drunk or am I drunk? All right, let's get my camera back on there. Oh, there we are. I'm back. I'm not drunk. Cool. So what questions have we got? Let's see anything coming through. Will there be another business school after November 2022? Louise, I honestly, hand on heart, this is not about scarcity. We have no plans. Yeah, I wasn't planning to do this one until the promoter begged me because of how well it went last year for the private 30 people. Yeah, all of whom are paying a lot more than you guys. So I don't want to commit to that. Chances are no. My plans are I'm focusing on my elite mentorship trainer business. I really want to help and build and support my trainers. I'm passionate about that. I love teaching business. This is going to be something that is going to be a life-changing experience, but I don't know if we're going to be able to run it again after this, or we certainly don't have a date. Other questions, type them in, boys and girls. Let me have a little look. How can I become an affiliate? That's an interesting question. Send an email to support@teamsage.net. I'm sure they'll be able to, maybe if you've got people you want to bring, split the cost. Let's have a little look. Manny says, I don't have a business at the moment, so I don't want to have to invest to go so far, which of course, coming from where I live can be quite a distance. Now, I get that, my friend. Here's the thing. Even if you don't have a business right now, for the $300 on the live stream, if you attend, again, what you're doing is you're getting rid of the limiting beliefs on day one and making some major shifts. That alone is going to be worth way more. You could spend $300 on an hour with an average, and I'm not being detrimental here, I'm just telling you as it is. Any coach or business coach that's charging $300 an hour, right, probably has never ran a business. But if you're working with a coach that's charging $300 an hour, right, which is a low-level coach, to be fair, in terms of the market rates, then they're going to take more than 1 hour to go and try to get rid of those limiting beliefs. Invest that $300 into the live stream, and you've got 40 hours of content, and in a third of which is all about being able to reinvent who you are. So when you're ready to start your business next year, a year from now, whatever it may be, you're going to be in a very different position, and you're going to be glad that you planted the tree today that you can get the fruit from when you start your business at any point in the future. Make sense? Okay. What else we got? Can't attend the live stream due to schedule conflict. Can I get this benefit? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, again, you get the recordings for life. You can come back, middle of the night and press play. You're going to be able to have to watch this or play catch up anytime you want. And when it's all edited into a product, you're automatically given that rather than sell it to as just a recording experience after the event for around about 1,500 quid. Is there an option for payment in installments? Speak to one of the guys. They will figure it out. Yeah, we will do whatever we can to make this happen. I know that's why we say put the 500 deposit down. And from there, we will figure something out for you, because I'm committed to trying to help anyone that wants to get there. If you guys reach up, we'll reach down. Let me have a look. Anything else? Is there a limited number of live stream tickets? When is the deadline to buy the live stream? The only thing I've been told by the promoter is that the software we're using does have a limit. I don't have access to whether we're close, but most likely we will have a limit on there, because the package that the guys have quoted has so many people, and the next level is like 10x the amount of bandwidth and 10x the amount of cost. And I'm probably not going to go over that if there's only 100, 200 people more that want the live stream. If I've got to pay for 1,000 people for the live stream, that needs to go up in the next tier, if that makes sense. Let's have a little look. How can I get a home like yours? Well, good question. This is not actually it's a nice background. I use it, but I have other backgrounds too. I'm actually working off a green screen right now, as you can probably see. And I'm again talk about, let me just see what I can got here. I have other very nice homes. Let me have a look at, how about that one? Is that nice? There we go. Look at my piano. Yeah. No, I'm. Don't get me wrong. I live in a beautiful villa, here in Tenerife, overlooking the ocean. It's probably bigger than the one that you're looking at on screen, to be fair. And behind me, I have on my wall pictures of all of my energetic spiritual mentors. Yeah, if you want to see that, I'm happy to show you. Why not? There you go. You can see all of my mentors on there. So anyway, back to the office. There we are. It's all good. The world is changing. What do you see as critical adaptive skill for mastery? Guys, the world is always changing. All right. At the beginning of 2020 in January, I put a New Year's video out. Now, some of you will probably remember January 2020 is probably the last normal month of the last few years, as we're getting back there now. But somebody asked me, oh, what's 2020 going to hold? As people asked me at the start of the year. And I said, well, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do have a crystal rearview mirror. And I said, I kind of know what the next 100 years is going to be because I know what the last 100 years is going to be. I know what the next 5,000 years is going to be because I know what the last 5,000 years has been. Full of two things, challenge and opportunity. I was kind of right. Yeah, there's a lot of challenges in 2020, although I doubled my business in 2020 and I quadrupled it more in 2021. Right? But when it comes to the world is changing, the variable here is not the world. The world's always going to change. Your bank account's going to go up, it's going to go down. Right? It's the nature of being an entrepreneur. Industries are going to pop up and disappear. They're going to thrive and then be obsolete when the next widget comes out. The only consistent factor throughout all of that is the business owner. If you want to know the one thing that will move the needle the most, it ain't your advertising campaign. It's not your fancy schmancy widget that with the features and benefits. The thing that will always move the business needle the most is the quality of the business owner and the mindset. Way more than skill set. There's a lot of people got crushed in the last 2 years, and a few people started crushing it. And not just because they're in the mask selling business or any of that crap. No, they knew because they knew how to pivot. You see, the ability to handle uncertainty is one of the primary characteristics of an entrepreneur. And we're going to get that organized on day one, I can promise you. You're going to love it. What else on here? Come over to Australia, Balgo Beach. I love Australia. I spent a lot of time in Australia. I was a Bondi boy for many years, but also spent a lot of time up in the Gold Coast and up in the tropics in Darwin, would you believe? Full of things that can bite you. The whole of Australia is full of things that can bite you, actually. But yeah. And but I do love it. I do love Australia. It's just a long way to go. But hoping to get back there. Can I ask questions on the online event? Absolutely. I'm going to be interacting with people on the live stream. Now, again, this is like a hybrid experience. We've got the in-room energy, but I'm flying in a team to not just record, but to interact with you so that I can interact with you guys in real time. I respect the fact that not everybody can get to Cyprus. If you can, do it. But if you can't, then get on the live stream and I will make that a hybrid experience that for $300, you're going to think is the best investment you've ever made in any business. And guys, ask yourself, $1,500 for the ticket to come. Do you have any idea how easy it is to waste $1,500 on not knowing what you're doing in business? Think about that. Let me ask that again. Do you have any idea how easy it is to waste $1,500 on not knowing what you're doing in business? Right? Even if it's 97% of your advertising budget. So look at it through that lens and get out of the house. And by the way, it's warm. Yeah, Cyprus is warm in November. If you're in a cold place, right? Well, not Australia, it's warm in November, but if you're in a cold place, come treat yourself. Life's short. So it's going to be awesome. We're going to have greater energy. And if you are on the live stream, then we will be interacting. Is there much overlap with USM and EMF? Says Janet. You mean between USM and EMF or USM, EMF, and the business school? No, business school is a different animal. This is me teaching business. EMF is me reinventing who you are and raising your levels of consciousness, giving you a peer group that is out of this world, and everything else. USM is a self-starting program that gives you the best of what I've taught over the last 9 years in a syllabus that helps make some of the shifts, but you've got to push yourself to go through it. The business school is you being able to understand how to be an absolute unstoppable entrepreneur in any market, in any business, in any economy, and generate $1 million in business over the next 12 months. And guys, I'm going to finish off on this. I want to be respectful for the time today, but I just want to give you this for those that are staying on this late. Let me share this with you. The most powerful part of the $1 million plan is not the $1 million plan. Oh, you're going to get that. The most powerful part, I'm kind of giving the game away here, but I can promise you, look at it through this lens. The most powerful part is your belief in the fact that it's possible. Contrast that with the limiting beliefs that you came here with today. What would happen if you left Cyprus absolutely knowing, balls to bone, right, that in your heart and mind, completely unified, that you knew how to go out and make $1 million? What would that do for how you showed up? What would that do for when your friend tells you about, oh, well, the government says it's going to put up the interest rates? What would that do for, other people panicking and you being able to stand calm? The belief that you can do it, because you've got the plan, you've got the certainty. It's just no doubt. It's just done. And let's look at it through a negative lens, man. Let's be realistic. Let's say I'm 90% wrong and you only make an extra 100 grand. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I charging $1,500 for the ticket? You get the idea, guys. I don't know how to price this any better for you. And again, I'm not getting that. That's going to the promoter, all right, who's assuming all of the risk to put on the event. Yeah, and the promoter himself is an amazing guy, and you'll be able to meet him. His name's Krasy, and in all fairness, let me have a little look. His company, by the way, is called Awaken Potential. So if you do see that, then it is a genuine company. We did have there's Awaken Potential company that's selling tickets to your event. Well, that's because they're the promoter, and they're promoting that in Cyprus and across his network. But if you go to the link that's in the chat right now, or just click the link and bookmark it so you can at least get a call, or at least come back to it tomorrow once you've slept on it and know that this is for you. But if I was 90% wrong and you're able to generate an extra 100 grand, or if you just walked away with the certainty that you knew how to generate $1 million in any economy, what would that be worth to you? And if you can't figure out $300 for that, I can't help you guys. If you want to come in person, feel that energy, it'll be a story you tell your grandkids. I can promise you, because this is going to be a rock concert. Not literally, but the energy is going to be off the charts. You think this has been great for an hour and a half? Imagine 40 hours on stage with me, what I can teach you. Anyway, I've made my point. Guys, thank you so much, all of you, for being here. I appreciate that. We've got a few. Was there any more questions coming up in the chat, which I just saw? Let me have a little look. Q&A here. If my business is not a product but a service, what is the best way to sell myself to get people to use the service I'm offering? Again, day one, we're going to handle that. Yeah, absolutely. Because people buy people before they buy their products, ideas, and concepts. So Jessica, trust me. Yeah, people buy people before they buy your products, ideas, and concepts. Knowing how to show up with that cape, knowing how to be so customer centric that they know you care more about them than the sale. And again, we'll be creating all of this in the room. Let me have a little look, get rid of that. If it's not possible to join, will it be on powerful? Yes, we've done that. Let me have a little look. I don't know if there's any other questions. Jenny says, I'm in EMF, just started Monday. Congratulations. How would this fit in? EMF grads make amazing MBA students, but again, this is business focused. So if you're looking to start a business, if you're looking to, in the future, create a business, or have the courage to look at that being, or even shifting your identity to being what I call an intrapreneur. Intrapreneur is the term used for people that don't want to leave their job, but they want to rise up the ranks within the company they work for by figuring out ways to add value and therefore essentially make themselves recession-proof. Because as a business owner, if I'm in a situation where I've got to make cuts, who am I going to cut? I'm not going to cut the people that are adding the most value. Let's have a little look. This question is appropriate. I have many ideas in different industries, some which I know a little about, some not. How do you pick an idea when you have so many ideas on a daily basis? That's one of the biggest things you're going to be walking away with after day one, because people start businesses for the wrong reasons and they don't know until they get downstream. Kind of like walking up the aisle with somebody for the wrong reasons, only to sometimes regret it downstream on that as well. But when you get married to your business for the wrong reasons, it can be just as upsetting. Now, day one, we don't talk business. As I said, it's reinventing who you are, business self-mastery. From there, you will be able to get in touch with a sense of authenticity that'll let you know why you want to go for the idea that you want to go for and why you don't want to go for the idea you thought you wanted to go for walking in. And then we'll give you all the tools on how to show you how to make it profitable. I think that was everything. Guys, go book a call, have a chat with one of the guys. And I can't wait to see those that are coming in Cyprus there, and those on the live stream. I'll be giving you a big wave. That sound good? Outstanding. Love you guys. Go book your ticket, book your flight, and let's go party in Cyprus.